What's good, y'all? I'm CHIEFtheOG, and welcome back to Rich Before 30 podcast. Today, we're picking up on Chapter 2, Action, in the book Rich Before 30 by Gavin Chief Meredith. Last week, we spoke about looking good and feeling good, and also practicing your power of belief. How have you done with those this week? I tell you, I practice them every day. Don't I look good? I definitely feel good, and I believe that I can accomplish anything I want. How about you? This is episode 14, and if you've been rocking with us, drop an emoji or a comment below. Thanks for your support. In today's topics, we're going to focus on not placing blame, realizing that you have the control to design your desired destiny, appreciate and focus on the positive and nothing negative, and accepting your circumstances, realizing that you have paved your way to end up exactly where you are today. We'll now continue with Chapter 2, Action, in the book Rich Before 30 by Gavin Chief Meredith. If you're reading along, we're picking up on page 61.
Believe you will be successful and grow to be successful. I too would blame lack of success on people who I believe could just hand me success if they wanted. I would blame lack of money. For whatever reason, I thought that if only I had money, I could make money. I would blame others for not being there to support me. I came to learn over time that I had only focused on the negative, and I only saw what I thought was missing. I had to analyze my situation and find that only I am responsible for my own success. I realized that if I relied on someone else to create my success, that the success that I desired may never come. I realized that only I had the control to design my desired destiny. I would focus on not having money. I would focus on how much money I spend. I realized, I do spend a lot of money, but I always get money to spend. Wow. No, really, wow. Here I am thinking that I like money, but I get money all the time. I had to realize that I get money all the time. So I had to change how I was investing my money to see change in the results. I was disappointed that friends and family didn't support me when I finally began to take steps toward changing my life for the better and living out my dreams. I figured, you people know me and you don't want to see me win. Well, I wasn't wrong. Many people closest to you will envy your courage to go after success and happiness. They themselves may not have been able to muster up the courage. This, I learned, was no reason for me to be upset. Whether it was no one at all or one or two people, I had to appreciate and focus on the positive and nothing negative. People want to be around people who are kind and people who are happy. I learned to appreciate what I do have. In doing this, I was able to change the way I saw support. I noticed that I had high expectations for old friends. I needed to appreciate my friends and family that were indeed showing me support. Even if you have no one at all to give you any support, you must be your own biggest supporter. You have to believe in yourself. I had been preaching to myself reasons I couldn't get ahead instead of reasons I could. I realized that people who are successful and happy didn't become that way due to the support they gained from people. They gained support from people because of their success and happiness. Accepting that you control your circumstances and that you have paved the way for yourself to end up exactly where you are, you discover the happiness of knowing that you control every moment of your life and your future. When you're happy, people want to be around you. They want a piece of that happiness. They want to support and learn from you so that they too may become successful. You can only become successful by thinking that you will become successful. Think important, act important. Therefore, you will convey importance. I decided I was no longer going to sell myself short. I began thinking of all the reasons I was qualified and I could get it done. Most people continue to worry and live afraid, thinking that they must go through life unappreciated, not being able to do what they want to do. The way they live will only lead to small happiness and small rewards. Others will convert every opportunity into a win. You are one of these people. You don't rely on luck, otherwise you wouldn't have bothered with this book. You are one of the unique individuals who has decided they want to think themselves to success. Believe you can succeed. Remind yourself often that you're better than you think you are. Successful people aren't supernatural or super intellectual. They are just normal people who believe in themselves and what they do. Never underestimate yourself. Think big and do big things. Think small and live small.
Even me, I started with placing blame on others. I have an uncle who's great friends with Snoop Dogg, Master P, even Ice Cube. I rap. You don't think it came across my mind? Unc, pass me the torch. Introduce me to these guys, because that's the window to success. That's the door that I need to walk through to get exactly where I want to be. My uncle, being my uncle, I had never worked with him on a business venture. Of course, we're family, but we never worked together. He has a recording artist that he works with, and he asked us to collaborate. Once we were in the recording studio, my uncle was surprised to see me recording vocals on the music. To me, this is unbelievable, because that's all I do, is record vocals on the music. So what did he expect me to do on the song? As I said in an earlier podcast, I learned how to engineer myself about 6-7 years ago. When I first began my professional music journey, I got tired of going around to engineers and waiting for things to get done. So I learned how to engineer myself. But that was 6 or 7 years ago. Over time, I learned that if I wanted to get things done more quickly and more efficiently, I would need to outsource to someone who could do things to my standards. Although it is convenient to be able to record your own music, it's not the most conventional or the easiest way to go about recording music. Definitely much easier for me to stay in the recording booth while an engineer mixes my voice. So as time went on and I grew with my music, I learned that I could get more songs done if I had an engineer recording for me. So I began to record like that. Back to my uncle, him being surprised that I hopped in the recording booth and began recording vocals just showed me his ignorance toward my musicianship. Now, if you're going on the show Shark Tank and you're trying to pitch a deal, you wouldn't want somebody to pitch that deal for you when they don't have confidence in your product like you do. Imagine you have 100% confidence in your business and you're relying on someone who has no confidence in your business, maybe 1%. And that 1% is just because they know you. They have 1% confidence in your business. And you're relying on them to connect you with the people that you've been waiting to connect with your entire life. How are they going to sell you like you can sell yourself? To tell the truth, by the end of the session, I had realized that my uncle wasn't the most pleasant person to work with. Having this in mind, I thought to myself, why would I want him to introduce me to Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, or Master P if I don't think he's a pleasant person to work with and he's my uncle? They might have that same opinion of him. Who knows what their opinion of my uncle is? But that clarified for me that I couldn't rely on my uncle, or I shouldn't rely on my uncle to introduce me to these people. I don't know what his standing with them is. Him introducing me to them could be worse than me introducing myself. Not saying that it would be. It could be great. But the point is, I couldn't rely on him to just hand me the success that I thought he could. He most likely couldn't. Otherwise, he would have already. But it was my thinking that had to be changed. I had to realize that I don't need Snoop Dogg, I don't need Ice Cube, I don't need Master P to do exactly what I'm doing now. To teach, to rap, to make good music, to be successful in music. Even with money and things that I wanted, I realized that I was only focusing on things that I didn't have. When it comes to recording music, I have all the elements to be the great artist I am. What I desire already exists for me. This idea that I needed an outside source or someone of higher status or of celebrity status to give me this Midas touch, it's a false idea, and you're placing blame. You're placing blame on the idea that something could be, instead of focusing on what you have and making do with what is. I realized that if I relied on my uncle to introduce me to any of these celebrity rappers, that it may never happen, that the success that I wanted may never come. The only way to succeed the success that I desire is to make it happen myself. I would focus on how much money I spend. Then I stopped and thought about it and realized, damn, I always have money to spend. So I had to reanalyze my spending. I had to change the way I was spending and begin investing in myself to see the results that I desire. When you start a new business or you go out living your dream, you'll be surprised to see that the people closest to you don't always support. They're not always your biggest supporters. Most likely people you don't even know will be your largest supporters. This is okay. Don't be upset with the people you know. They may just be upset with themselves because they didn't have the courage to go after their dreams. But you do, and you are. continue forth pushing with your dreams and see them come to fruition. No matter how many supporters you have, focus on the positive only and never the negative. We're so quick to listen to our negative thoughts and ideas, but we don't pay enough attention to the positive ideas and the positive out of any given situation. If your business has one customer, that's one customer more than zero. Appreciate that one customer and grow your business. Be happy and appreciate what you have. People want to be around people who are happy, people who are successful. No one wants to hang around people who are always down in the dumps and negative. Attract people to you with your happiness and success. I realized that successful and happy people didn't become that way because of the support they receive. They receive support from others because they are successful and happy. So first, you must think confidently. Thinking confidently will bring confidence to your thoughts and actions. So first, you must think confidently. Next, you must set goals and accomplish them. Setting goals and accomplishing goals is the only way to see success. Success comes from accomplishing goals. Lastly, accomplishing your goals in return makes you happy. It all starts with your thinking and thinking positive. Positive thinking leads to success and happiness. This will attract others to you. The quickest way to stop placing blame on others is to accept that everything you've done in your life has led you exactly to where you are today. Once you accept that you have led yourself to where you are today, you understand that you control every moment of your life and future. People want to learn from successful people. People want to learn from successful people so they could be successful too. Act important. Therefore, you will convey importance. When it comes to success, I had to say to myself, I'm done coming up with these excuses. You should do the same. Stop making excuses for yourself. I got to the point where I decided I was going to come up with all the reasons I can instead of reasons I could not. Most people go through life worried and afraid, thinking that they have to go through life not being able to do what they want. This leads to depression, and small happiness, and small successes. And then there are others like you who have decided they are going to think themselves to success. You're doing a great job. Otherwise, you wouldn't have bothered with this book or podcast. In closing, believe you can succeed. Remind yourself that you're better than you think you are. Successful people aren't supernatural. They're just normal people who believe in what they do. Never underestimate yourself and always think big. When you think big, you'll live big. If you haven't already, be sure to pick up a copy of my book, Rich Before 30 by Gavin Chief Meredith, available on Amazon. I'm Chief the OG, and this is Rich Before 30 Podcast. See you next time.